Hey you guys, it's me, it's Nita. I'm here to give you my review on the movie Just Mercy. The movie is written and directed by Dustin Daniel Creighton. He is responsible for The Glass Castle and Short Term 12. The movie is starring Jamie Foxx, Academy Award winning winner for the movie Ray, where he had some nominations for the movie Collateral back in 2004. He also played in Django Unchained. Michael B. Jordan, from Creed and Black Panther. Brie Larson from Captain Marvel. O'Shea Jackson from Straight Outta Compton. Ice Cube's son. Tim Blake Nelson from Watchmen and The Incredible Hulk. Rob Morgan from Mudbound. This Is Us and Stranger Things. The synopsis of the movie is the world-renowned civil rights defense attorney by the name of Brian Stevenson, who is played by Michael B. Jordan, works to free a wrongly condemned death row prisoner by the name of Walter Macmillan, who is played by Jamie Foxx. This movie is based on true events, and if you're new to my channel, welcome. I like to tell you what I like about the movie. I like to tell you what I didn't like about the movie, and I tell you whether or not you should know or go see this movie in theaters. First of all, as far as the pros and what's good about this movie, which is across the board, almost everything. Let's just be clear about that. The performances were amazing. Amazing. These actors, Jamie Foxx disappeared. There was no more Jamie Foxx. That was Walter Macmillan. And it was such an impressive performance for him. One of his best since Ray. And oh my God, it was so impressive because what it was is that, with these types of movies, because we're talking about racial injustices and we're talking about things that are blatantly wrong, movies that have messages, sometimes they try to say that they will be beating you over the head with the message of the movie. This is to the contrary. This is a true story, and it's just telling the truth. I don't think it was not biased in any way. I believe that it just told the story the way it was written, the way it was portrayed, and it just was what it was. And so it was a true story. And and the reason why I say it wasn't beaten over the head, because Jamie Foxx could have took a whole nother route with how he portrayed this person. This person is no longer with us. Walter Macmillan has passed on, and he doesn't have any way, but the way he was able to actually be more reserved and more emotional, however, not in a angry black man type way where you can kind of say all of this stuff and you have all these lines of dialogue that feel forced. But it wasn't like that. It was like a true portrayal. It's like what he felt in his heart. Just the turmoil that someone like that would be going through. And it was just a brilliant performance. Hands down, it was just a brilliant performance. I'm just in awe of it. And another standout person who was in a supporting role as well was Rob Morgan, and he played Herbert, and he was another death row prisoner that served while Walter Macmillan, Jamie Foxx character, was on death row. And that was another subplot that was very, very prominent and very well fleshed out. And the movie was so compelling in that realm, in that regard, how they had these subplots going on, but they felt totally and completely fleshed out and very well acted, and given enough time to breathe and just to appreciate all of just the atmosphere and what all went on around in that time. This is a span over 6 years. This happened back in 1988. He spent 6 years on death row, and in 1993, that's when the end of the movie, the turn of events happened, where he was, where things were overturned. But you had to see, you know, in a way, it was a little conventional about how things happen, and you know, that type of thing. But even though it's conventional, it still had a lot of twists and turns. It still wasn't predictable in the manner that you think it's going to be predictable. It was not in that vein, but it was such a good movie. It's such an important movie for everyone to see. I just think of our times, because 1993, what was that, like 23 years ago, like 27. I didn't. It wasn't a long time ago. 1993. It wasn't a long time ago, and you know, when I really watched this movie, and it took place in the South, down in Alabama, you know, I know that they say that the South is still kind of has that undertone there, and when I watched the movie, I kind of felt like, was I watching a movie from in the 40s and the 50s, in the 60s? That's what it felt like. It didn't feel of our time, of the 90s. And I found that to be incredibly disheartening. You know, it was just like, it's just a must watch for all to see. Of all the stuff that's in the theaters this weekend, this is the movie to see. Do not go see Like a Boss. Don't go see Like a Boss. Go see Just Mercy. It needs to be seen. It's a movie that needs to be told. It's a story that needs to be told, a film that needs to be seen. And I'm glad that, you know, with movies and art, that we're able to create this artistic piece there, just to have and just to retell the stories of those that came before us, so you can appreciate and just understand the struggle, and you know, stuff like that. So anyway, I didn't really find any flaws in the movie. The movie was, it was terrific. It was terrific. And in the beginning there was a little bit of disjointment that was going on, but you know, you just don't know what's going on. So, you know, the way the director put the pieces together, it came together, and it didn't even misstep. It was kind of something that kind of, I was just like, oh, okay, so what's going on here? And so it just came together, just a little slower than normal, but it didn't take you out the film or nothing like that. Everything was just really well put together, totally impressive. I definitely, what I would say for you to do is to go see this movie in theaters. Please go support this movie. This movie is an important movie. It was well told. It wasn't hammering you over the head with the message. It was great film making at its finest. It was just great. It was great, and I can't say how great it was. Again, if I was to rate it, I'm going to rate it out of 5 stars. I give it 4.5 out of 5 stars. I really want to give it 5 stars, but you know, I give it 4.5 out of 5. Great movie. Phenomenal, phenomenal, phenomenal. And some other movies that are in the same vein. If you watch this movie and you want to see another movie, Brian Banks came out in 2019 as well, about a football player who was wrongly convicted when he was a teenager in high school, and it came back to bite him in the butt. And so he worked to get himself off of his wrongly accused conviction. There's another movie with, gosh, what's that girl? Viola Davis, Clemency, came out in 2019. And also we have our oldie but goodie, The Green Mile. So if you want to check out some other movies that are in the same vein of Just Mercy, I recommend Brian Banks, Clemency, and The Green Mile. And get down in the comments and let the diva know that you were here. If you've seen Just Mercy, if you're going to support Just Mercy, please tell me in the comments. This movie needs to be seen. And you make sure you tell someone to go see Just Mercy. And I will see you in my next one.